Hey, it's Mike again. Figured today I'll just talk about a little local thing that just more about the history of Metrotrails and where we started, and it's of interest to people that grew up here along with me. This is the old Acme in Washington Township between Port Colden and downtown Washington in the Warren Plaza. It's the third sign to have that. The original one was a neon type of thing, yellow background and big Warren Plaza sign. For many years, you might remember it was Warren Plaza, but the PL didn't work, so it said Warren Aza. And the community over here didn't exist yet. That was all woods. But this is where I used to park originally for the hikes that ended in Washington, if I didn't want to try to mess with anything by my house in Port Colden. So that was the Acme. Right in between here, in this middle one where the CB Pet Market is, or that next one, I forget which one of them, but one of them was Pizza Spaghetti House, which is now DeCola's Pizza. They moved over to the Boulevard between 31 and 57. They're still the best. If you love pizza, it's great. They also have the best cheesesteaks in the world. Sorry, Philly, I tried all your best stuff. DeCola's is the best. And the Dollar Tree and the CFS area there, that was all Shelby's. And after a few years, when Shelby's closed, there was another store that went in there for a few years called 5 Star Values in the 90s. And somewhere around 2000, DeCola's, the family moved over to the new location over on the Boulevard. So anyway, we parked right here, and we would come out of the woods over here to the right of the building here, because hike number 1 and a lot of them after that were following the old Lackawanna main line, and that runs literally right behind the shopping center. And this area where these houses are now, that was all just woods, and there were, at this edge of the parking lot, there were ATV paths that went in all through there. So ATVs, mountain bikes, my brothers and I would ride through there all the time. If you were to take the path that was over near the corner here, where all this fencing is, that was where a path paralleled the railroad that's in a cut over here, and it came out over next to where the turntable was. Before they built this development, you could still walk the trace around the outside of the turntable. I believe that was destroyed now, but I haven't walked back to look at the site itself very much lately. You can see the cut in there where one of the ATV paths went in. But this is where we always used to go. And back on hike number 1, we came right out the path that used to be here and stumbled across the parking lot here, and we had pizza at the Spaghetti House. Well, this is really beat getting in here now. Let's see if I can show you a little more of this, though. But this was where it was at. We came back here all the time. Ooh. Looks like some of the path is still up here. There's a utility under this. Right over here. Oh yeah, somebody's keeping it knocked down pretty well. So over here we have, this was the Morrison Essex originally. They wanted to build through the water gap directly from Hackettstown, where they had reached by the 1850s. But then the Warren Railroad under John I. Blair did it first. So they extended west to Phillipsburg in 1866. But you're looking at that right-of-way up there on the hill. That slope you're looking at was the original Morrison Essex from 1866. But in 1868, it was sort of absorbed, or leased anyway, by the Lackawanna. And so they built this grade that was lower Because originally out this way in the Washington yard, they couldn't cross over the Lackawanna line at grade, because it could cause an interruption in their service. So they had to have this grade that was built up in order to cross over it on a bridge at Railroad Avenue area today. I'm surprised this is as clear as it is right now, because it was not so clear very recently. But this is a really good vantage point too, because you could see some of that stonework over there that was part of the original 1866 Morrison Essex right-of-way. The houses you see over there are off of Washburn Avenue. But yeah, that's what we used to do. And before these houses were in, there was a big loop all through there. It was always a really nice place to come and play. We kind of hoped it would be preserved, but unfortunately it wasn't. The railroad has a lot of storage down here today. More actively used than it used to be. We'll call it quits right over in here, but the turntable was right over here, straight ahead, near where these poles are. There might be something left in there, because there's this access over here out of the development with all that gravel. And the pit was over in that area. I'd imagine there's still something left over it. They wouldn't have torn it all out. So that's where it all started. In March of 1997, I started organizing the hikes. I wanted to do it on my 16th birthday. So I started planning for this when I was 15. I'm doing it on my 16th. Then I couldn't get a ride to Portland, Pennsylvania to start the hike I wanted to do for that. So we ended up doing that hike for my 17th. We did do a hike on my 16th birthday, but we just walked clear across town. So it wasn't really the model of the long day hike that I had in mind. Another good view of the stonework here. So that was how it started, and we ended up having such a good time. I ended up repeating this hike several times, all in that first year. But I'd keep on doing this hike over and over, and at some point early on, one of my friends said, "Hey Mike, do you know anywhere else we can hike and do something like that?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I've been hiking with my grandfather since I was 3. We can do lots of stuff." So we went back to my grandfather's house. I wanted him to come up with a hike that was 20 miles from on the old Lackawanna, Maine, to my house, and we came up with Portland, PA. And I went back to his house again, and I said, "Well, what else can we do?" And so, using his big USGS maps in his drawers, we scaled off another 20-mile hike, and that one started in Crestmore in Morris County on the Jersey Central line. Came up through Califon, and then out through Highbridge, up the Jersey Central to Hampton Junction, and then the Lackawanna from the other direction. So that was the next one. And back before having a driver's license, all the hikes ended at my house. So we ended up either here or in Port Colden each time. Usually here. That was the first couple years. Then they started having these no parking signs through here where you had to be using the store or something. So we started using Port Colden Mall, which is a newer one that came in, I guess in the 90s, was it? And you could see some of that coming into view over here. So then the meeting point was always Port Colden Mall for the anniversary hike every year, which is what we call it now. It's the 2024 will be, unbelievably, the 27-year anniversary hike. I can't believe I've been doing that hike for 27 years. Or organizing these hikes at all for 27 years. Doesn't seem possible. Since I was a teenager when I started it. Wouldn't have thought I'd be doing it this long, I guess. After about 5 years of running the hikes, I did always hope that I would continue doing it for the rest of my life. Would have never thought it would be as popular and doing as great as it is now, but I'm thankful to be doing this. I'm thankful for the people that come out, and for the people that enjoy it online and listen to me rambling on. So anyway, that's Warren Plaza and environs around the Lackawanna Railroad, and that was where the group started out. Lots of fun. Sort of set the model for it. Instead of a birthday party, I had a hike that went from a point 20 miles away from my house back home. After that, I decided that every hike was going to somehow connect to a previous hike we've done. So we've done contiguous, well over 30,000 miles. So anyway, when you look at all this stuff online, this is where it all started. And every one of these weekend hikes that I'm posting somehow connects with this spot. I lived less than a mile from right here. All right, thanks for watching.